Hi everyone, my name is Brooke Kivi and I'm an instructional coach here at Miranda Unified School District.
Hi, my name is Tyler Connell and I'm a high school math teacher at Miranda Unified School District.
To begin, I'd first like to explain why building relationships with faculty is so important, and then Tyler and I will both provide some insight as to how these relationships are built. To start, building relationships with staff is so important because teachers are likely to distrust a colleague coming into their classroom from an evaluative perspective and will thus be wary of any constructive criticism that results. Without relationship, teachers will have little trust in their coach and will likely disregard whatever feedback is given to them. If they don't feel safe being honest and open with the coach, teachers will hinder the ability of a coach to be a powerful tool in improving their teaching.
Trust is really the most important component of an effective teacher-coach relationship, as it allows the teacher to be open and honest about their successes and failures, providing an authentic baseline from which the coach can provide appropriate feedback and support.
When it comes to feedback, I feel it is most important to be clear about meeting times and expectations when communicating with teachers. If my meeting with a teacher is going to be in regards to some observational feedback I've compiled from classroom visits, I will discuss that with them beforehand and will ask them to provide their own documentation or thoughts on the lessons that were observed. This helps to create a conversation in which we can have discourse about the strengths of their teaching and where they would like to improve. By asking the teacher to provide data, I am creating an opportunity for self-advocacy, and I help to establish a baseline of evidence-based practice. Another key way in which I like to prepare my teachers for feedback is to discuss with them ahead of time exactly what data I will be collecting in the observation, so that they can be mindful of how they would like to utilize that data in our next meeting and how they would like to prepare in their lesson planning.
I like knowing exactly what to expect and what is expected of me in my meetings with my coach. It helps me to be prepared and makes me feel like I have an active role in my professional growth. It is also nice to have a clear understanding of what will be discussed, and I don't ever feel dropped in or caught unaware, especially when we end up discussing something that could have gone better in a lesson.
I also like to provide feedback in a variety of formats, which depends on the prior discussion I would have had with the teacher, being largely influenced by their preference. Examples would be the amount of on or off-task behavior, the classroom management strategies the teacher uses, the productive group work strategies the teacher uses. Sometimes I will even include clips of recordings of the lesson documenting any of the aforementioned aspects of the lesson and classroom environment. I feel it is also important to mention how this feedback is communicated. It is important to present findings in a face-to-face manner through discussions we both feel prepared for. I feel when it comes to providing feedback, the most important aspect is documentation and letting the data do most of the work in regards to painting a picture of the teacher's strategies and skills.
I appreciate the objectivity of the feedback provided by coaches. I find recordings especially helpful because they help me to catch things I would not be able to in the moment. And they provide valuable insight for making improvements to my teaching. Switching gears now to the perspective of a teacher and relationship building, I'd like to reference a point made previously at the start of this video, and that point is trust. Trust needs to be established in classrooms between teachers and their students before authentic learning can occur, and it is done through the building of relationships and rapport. Relationships should help students answer the so what question when it comes to my classroom and content area. When students feel they belong in a classroom, and if they feel they're safe and heard, they will be more connected to what is taught and more engaged overall. I like to build relationships in two main ways. I give students agency over the classroom norms and decor, and I provide structured opportunities to learn about each other's interests and personalities. At the beginning of the year, I like to give students a poster on a piece of paper that spells me in capital block letters, and the students fill the letters with magazine clippings that describe them. The students then present their me to the class, and they decorate the classroom for the rest of the year. I also like to involve students in the development of classroom norms, which helps to establish the classroom environment as a place that is fair and safe. I like to get to know my students on a weekly basis by asking about their weekends every Monday and asking a personal question every Friday, such as, who in your life do you admire the most? I post these questions in an online format in Google Classroom so that I can quickly provide the students feedback and let them know that I value their input. It helps them to trust that I care about them and that I enjoy having them as students, which in turn helps them to feel welcome in my classroom.
When observing teachers, it is clear when these relationships have been established. You can see it in the teacher-to-student interactions, you can see it in the student-to-student interactions. It just becomes very clear that students either feel they're in a safe, welcome environment or not. And those two concepts, relationships and feedback, really go hand in hand when it comes to coaching, when it comes to teaching, when it comes to the overall educational process. And those two concepts should really be at the forefront of your mind as an educator or anybody who is a stakeholder in the educational process. Relationships and feedback are just very, very important, and the overall consensus between the two, between teaching and between coaching. Well, thank you very much for your time. We hope you enjoyed our quick video.